Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Kaylin's English podcast. This podcast is designed for English learners. I'm here to help you practice your listening skills. I'm Kaylin, a professional English teacher on italki. How is everyone doing today? I hope everybody is doing very well today. It is really hot in England, so I'm a bit uncomfortable, but I'll be okay. I'll survive. The last two episodes, I talked about London, various things that I have done there, and what you could potentially would want to see for yourself if you ever find yourself in London. This episode, I'm going to talk about the northern part of England. More specifically, a place that I lived for nearly 6 years. This place is Leeds. Leeds is a city in the north of England, about 3 hours away from London by train. It is a large city, but not nearly as large as London. It has a lot of things that you could potentially do and see while there. They have 3 museums. They have the Natural History Museum, the Art Gallery, and the Royal Armouries. I have been to all 3 of these locations, and I must say, they're actually pretty good. So the Natural History Museum is quite small. However, it has some very interesting exhibits, and they occasionally have some themed activities going on at the museum. Most of them are for children, so be aware of that. I once took a friend of mine's daughter to this museum, and we had a lot of fun because during that time you were able to get a card, and on the card you had to go find some little tiny animals throughout the exhibit and check off each animal as you found it. If you were able to complete this card, you got a prize at the end. One of my favorite exhibits at this museum is the area that they have a replica of how people lived in a certain area of time in England. And this is really cool because they have different artifacts set up to show you what people used during that time, such as things they cooked with, what they wore, and various toys and activities that they could enjoy for entertainment. Some of the things you could actually play with while you're there, and they had dress-up clothes, so you could dress up as though you lived in a certain century long ago. The art gallery is really, really cool. They do change out the exhibits quite regularly, so you can get a different artist pretty much each time you visit. One of the really neat features is that they have a room dedicated to allow you to draw yourself. So you can paint, you can color, you can use pencils, pens, and you can create your own art, and they have a wall where you can hang it up afterwards. The Royal Armouries is a place where they show various aspects with regards to war. You can see suits of armor, cannons, various weapons, and also they have some armory that is for horses as well there. It's really, really cool to see the various things used during certain centuries. And they also bring it to the modern day world as well. So you can see some pretty dangerous weapons. But don't worry, nobody can actually grab them because they are well protected behind certain barriers. One really cool thing about this museum, they actually have an archery course there. So if you're wanting to, you can have the chance to shoot some arrows at some targets. It's quite cool. One of the more shocking exhibits at this place is the little area that they have of various contraband that the police officers here have taken off of citizens. They include things like homemade knives, also brass knuckles, some guns as well. Some people get very creative if they're going to harm somebody, and it's really scary to think that anybody here could have these things. That's enough about museums. How about we talk about a really fun place to be? It's called Tropical World. This is basically an indoor zoo. They have tons of different bird species that fly above your head while you walk through the exhibit. They also have meerkats and various things like snakes and spiders. It's a really cool place to be. And if you're not careful, a bird will swoop past your head and scare you like it did me. Another cool place to see in Leeds is Harewood House. Harewood House is a very, very historical mansion that is made out of stone. Inside, there's many different things that you can see, such as artwork and various furniture from way back when. It's a really cool place to be. My favorite part of Harewood House, though, is not the house itself, but it is the exhibit that they have outside. Outside, they have various animals, mainly birds, that you can go see. And, if you're lucky, you can also feed and pet some of them. They have my favorite bird, which is penguins. They have penguins at Harewood House. Besides penguins, they also have flamingos, macaws, parrots, all sorts of different types of birds. It's really, really cool to see this type of thing at a mansion. They also have some beautiful gardens and plenty of acres to roam. Let's see, what else can you do in Leeds? Well, Leeds is home to a football club, also known as soccer in America. They also have a rugby team. If you're not interested in museums or history or sports, you can also go shopping in Leeds. They have a really, really nice shopping area. Both these shopping areas are brand new practically to the city. Whenever I arrived in Leeds in 2012, the one shopping area was still being built, so it hadn't been open to the public just yet. The other one was recently built back before I left Leeds, which was in 2017, actually. The one that was completed first has many things like Lego, H&M, Primark. They also have Victoria's Secret, Swarovski crystals, Pandora, various, typical shops. The other one that was finished in 2017 is a luxury brand place. So anything that's really expensive can be found there. Leeds is also home to many great places to eat and drink. You can find food from all over the world. You can find Mexican, British, of course, American. You can find Thai, Chinese, pretty much anything. There's also plenty of fine dining restaurants, including ones that have won Michelin stars, or have been featured in the Michelin Guide. Leeds is a really great city. It has 2 universities, and it has plenty of diversity within it. There's tons of history and tradition within the city itself. It is a great city to see the old mixed in with the new. I think that is enough about Leeds for one episode. Next time, I will talk about some other places that I have visited in the north of England. If you ever find yourself in England, think about taking a trip up to Leeds. It is a great place. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like more content, then please subscribe to this podcast. You can also support me on Patreon. Find me by typing in Kaylin Teacher. On Patreon, you can gain early access to the podcast and transcriptions. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaylin_teacher. Thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day. Until next time, bye!